Dennis, it was meant to be a nervy final day, but your side have eased any nerves that were evident and blown Stalybridge away.
Yeah, I mean it was tough. You know, the scoreline don't suggest that, but the first half, you know, it was tough. They put in some great corners. We just took our chances really well, got in behind twice and took them chances, and that settled us down. And obviously second half we had a little bit of a breeze in our favour, and that gave us the belief to just put the ball in right areas and see the game through. And you know, we end up getting capitalising a couple more times, but you know, it was a tough game. You know, don't let the scoreline suggest it was anything other than that, because it was. You know, I was still edgy until Grant's one went in with 15 minutes to go when he's hit that weldy from 40 yards. So that's what's ended up clinching us the game, that wonderful strike.
It had echoes of last year here. You took an early lead, dominant, chance after chance. Last year you didn't get the second goal. Thankfully this year you did just before half time, and pretty much that really strengthened your grip on the game.
Yeah, you know, like I just said there, you know, the big game for us was last week, because if we drew or lose last week, then Nuneaton are in the playoffs. You know, it's both in our hands last week, but we managed to get the result last week. So, you know, we just had to get the final piece done today, and was fully focused and we're prepared this week to get that job done. So that's what we've gone and done. But, you know, last week was the clincher for us, getting the result against Nuneaton.
How pleased for Dale Southall jointly winning the Golden Boot with Danny Rowe. 24 for the season and a hat-trick to wrap it all up today.
Yeah, well, let's hope he can see it through. Let's hope he can get some goals in the playoffs. You know, last year him and Mark Jones were on fire, but they didn't manage to get any goals in the playoff for us. So hopefully Dale is really hungry for that Golden Boot. It's between probably him and Rowie, and let's hope he outscores him in the playoffs and we can go all the way.
It's Ferriby. It was fouled for about 10 minutes in the second half, but it's Ferriby as we probably thought it would be. Your thoughts on that aside that you found tough over the last couple of years?
Well, they've been both close games this year. You know, was it always in front in the away game, and then they scored 2 goals in a couple of minutes and got in the ascendancy. And at home, you know, I thought they only had a couple of chances and they've sneaked one from a corner at the end, a little bit of a mistake. But it'll be a tight game. You know, they're a good side. They're a team that's been together a while. I think it'll be a really close game, really competitive, close game. But hopefully, if the law of averages goes with you, it's a bad time for us with them.
And it's different for Boston this time around. The previous time they got to the playoffs 5 years ago, and then again last year, the first leg was away in the midweek. You're at home midweek this time. Is that going to have any bearing? Or?
Well, I'm hoping it favours us, because when you go away from home, in your mind, you're always thinking a draw is a good result. And sometimes you could win an away match, but you're half thinking a draw is a good result. So we're at home, the onus is on us to win it. So we'll be going there to win it. So hopefully that will give us the momentum going into the second game.
And do you go in with a pretty much clean bill of health? Has Liam Maher's got a chance of figuring in these next couple of games?
Liam should be fit, hopefully, in the next week, we hope. But, you know, 1 or 2 niggles today. You know, Kane felt his hamstring was a bit tight. You know, Mills is struggling there with a thigh strain, so we brought him off. So we've got 1 or 2 little niggles, but hopefully, you know, we can get him back out on the pitch on Wednesday.
And presumably now you're in, the adrenaline will hopefully carry a few through if there's a few knocks and niggles and bumps and bruises.
Yeah, well, let's hope, you know, the memories of last year's playoff stands in good stead this year. You know, we've made it again for second year, which is a fantastic achievement. Very difficult when you get 6 new teams that come into the league, and some of them have very good ambitions to get out of this league. So great achievement. Hopefully we've learned from last year, and hopefully we can go one better and make the final.
And did you ever doubt it? You had a bit of a sticky run in around September time, and then another one late February into March where you lost those 4 games, but you've really come strong when it started.
Well, like I say, I never doubted it. I think a few supporters did, but we've got there in the end, and the supporters have been first class in the last few weeks. Absolutely been the 12th man again today, rocking from day one, minute 1, just like last week, and they're seeing us over the line. So let's hope again on Wednesday. Don't matter what way it goes early on, get behind the team, because it made a big difference against Nuneaton, I can assure you. So don't matter how it goes, I had no negativity at all last week against Nuneaton, and we went 1 behind. So if they can do that again this week, that might just be the big difference to get us over the line.